Hey, Doug Franklin here in the LeaderTrex office again. There's another question that I get quite a bit about mission trips, and that's about how do you let mom and dad into the experience? How do you let the parents really understand what the student is experiencing? Well, I think that this is a really important question for us because parents pay a lot of money for their students to go on mission trips, and they want to know that it was more than just a vacation or a fun time. I think the way that I like to get parents involved is in the debrief process. I always talk to parents about 3 different debriefs. There's one debrief that takes place when you pick your student up from the church or from the airport. And parents don't really know how to handle that debrief. So they ask questions like, how was the weather? What did you eat? And students think that what they want to hear is what they did. Help your parents understand this. They need to ask questions like, what did you learn about yourself? How did you grow? How will you be different because of this trip? Those questions go to, how did you change? How are you somehow different because of this trip? And they'll hear in-depth, important answers. So that's the first debrief, the one that happens in the first 30 minutes to an hour when they return home. The next debrief should take place 2 or 3 days after they're home. Students will have a chance to have rested and to be thinking clearly, and parents can ask another set of questions during that time. And then finally, I think parents should schedule a time with the student a week after the trip is over and really ask some in-depth questions that will really help them process the experience. The questions that they should ask when the students immediately get home, a couple days later, and a week later, I have as a freebie on my blog, and I'll tie it to this video so you can get it. But help your parents get involved in the experience that your students are having on the missions trip this year. It'll bring your parents closer in on the missions trip experience, and it'll really help them hold your students accountable for the decisions that they made while on the missions trip. It can be really impactful. One more suggestion as well, too. Offer to meet with parents after the trip and meet with them personally, not in a big group, but go through with them what you learned about their student and how you're planning on challenging them in the next year spiritually, maybe in their leadership, maybe in their involvement at church. But that will actually help you begin to form a partnership with parents. And that partnership can lead to real transformational change for their students. So give it a try this year. Take your missions trip deeper and further by involving parents and you meeting with parents personally. Give it a try and let me know how it goes.